not genuine.
Yeah, it's not. Everything's disingenuous.
Right. And there's a difference between watching a film and feeling a certain way. Like if you watch a film and you get a general feeling about the film, and that's genuine because they didn't push it on you. Like it's not necessarily the point of the film, but you can point it out in the film. Right. That's genuine. But if you're watching a film and they're beating you over the head every 7 minutes, oh, have you forgotten yet that this character's gay? Have you forgotten that he's gay?
Right.
Or everything that he does in the film is something that is stereotypical what a gay person would do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's stupid.
You know what? I'm going to give you the perfect example of how you present something that people can relate with, no matter what. So, The Last of Us came out this year, right? Phenomenal show. Possibly my favorite horror show of all time. If not, definitely second. Because it's hard to top X-Files because it was like 11, 12 seasons of just pure greatness. Anyway, what was it? Episode 2 or 3 is when they have the Bill episode, right? With, his backstory and how he is secretly a gay man and stuff like that. Anyway, he finds the love of his life, right? And then this devastating thing happens and he loses the love of his life. I cried during that episode. I don't think I've told too many people about it, but I was watching it with my girlfriend Leanna, and I could relate with loving somebody so much that seeing them like pass away in your arms, like it hurt me to think about that in my perspective. And this is two gay men. I'm not a gay man, but they presented it in such a powerful way that I felt the love that they had for each other, like I have the love for my girlfriend, and I put myself in their shoes and I could relate with it, and it broke my heart seeing their heart break.
Yeah. Because like you said, it was not a episode about two gay men. It was about an episode about two people who loved each other. That's what it was about. It wasn't like, oh, by the way, you remember these guys are gay? No, it wasn't about that. This is how they lived.
Yeah.
This is the love that they shared. And when one horrible thing happened to one, it's generally heart-wrenching. Yeah. It wasn't about, oh, this is gay, or this is a lesbian, or this is straight, or this is black, or this is white, blah, blah, blah. It was simply about the love that two people can share between one another. And when you put that out there, everybody can relate. If you've ever been in love, regardless of if you're gay, straight, whatever, you can relate to this. If you have either lost a love, you don't even have to lose somebody. You could break up, so to speak, right, and that person was the cat's fucking pajamas and you can't get over it, blah, blah, blah. You still can relate to it. But the point is, it wasn't a narrative. It wasn't like,
like I didn't feel like I had to feel for these guys because they were gay.
Yeah.
No, I felt for them because I could relate with them.
Because it's human emotion.
Right.
And, of course, there's some people out there that try to push this as, yay, this is a win for the gay community. And, of course, there's people out there that say, I won't watch this. This is about two gays. Of course, you have bigots on both sides, and you have people pushing a narrative that might not even be there.
Yeah, and might I add, the one that's like, I can't watch that because it's two gay men. Well, first of all, fuck you. I just want that to be said. I don't support that shit neither. I definitely don't support that shit. And for the ones that totally, discredited these two men's performances and was like, "Oh, this is a win for the gays." No, this is a win for good fucking writing.
Television, yeah.
Like, this is a win for the people that love horror movies, that like are saying horror movies is where it's at. This is like top tier Academy Award winning shit we're watching. This is a win for us. No, fuck your left and right side. This is a win for the middle crowd.
Yeah, because I can tell you that after this episode, I was bummed because I was like, you know what? If I had 2 or 3 more episodes that just on these 2 characters alone, and the rest of the cast had to wait, I wouldn't even be sad about that. I wouldn't even be upset about that, because it was first of all, they were interesting characters. And the way it was shot was interesting, and I wanted to see more and more and more of it.
Right.
And that's why immediately following that episode, people got online and was like, "Oh, I hope they bring them back," even though it's said that these guys are, died or whatever, but who knows, We'll let the storytellers, say that.
Well, I've played the games. I mean, if they go by the games, they're not coming back. But the shows can be different than the video games. That's the great thing about the show, is it's a adaptation of the video game. It's not the video game 101.
The point is, people wanted the characters back, and that says something, considering these characters were only in one fucking episode.
Right, exactly. And when I segue into this next part, when we talk about our top 10 favorite horror movies / shows of 2023 and top 10 worst, that will be the episodes kicking off January for anybody listening.
Yep. We're going to start off the year by basically previewing the previous year.
Yeah.
Which I think is a great idea, because a lot of times last minute things can sneak up, and you've already done it and you're like, fuck. So this way we can, nothing will sneak up on us. Nothing will pop up and not get recognized.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to do any more movie reviews for the rest of the year. I don't think so. So if you're listening to this and you get a surprise pop-up episode here or there, don't be surprised, but don't be surprised also if this is the last episode of 2023. We did a lot of episodes for obviously Halloween. For anybody that's listening, we did 31 podcasts in 31 days about 31 different movies, and
we could have easily done one episode and just gave you 31 movies, but we thought that way it would be interesting. It'd be a way that you could be like, oh, today's the 12th. I wonder what movie they're going to choose today.
Right.
I thought it was a good little exciting little thing. Plus, it made us think we had to get 31 movies ready. Then we had to decide what day we wanted to put them on, and what
order and all sorts of shit.
Honestly, the only thing that we knew for certain is that Halloween had to be on fucking Halloween. Right. That's obvious. Everything else we kind of winged and put together and decided and settled and everything else.
And that's kind of we're not doing that for Christmas, because Christmas is more of a narrow subject. It's not that many Christmas horror movies, but the ones we have are iconic. Black Christmas, Gremlins, Krampus 2015. Don't watch the other ones, even though apparently people praise the Christmas Stories or whatever it is, where it's like Christmas versus Santa Claus. I thought it was dog shit, but it's on a lot of people's top 10.
And the fact of the matter is, there's not a lot of Christmas movies. There's quite a few of them, but none of them are quality.
No.
You know what I mean? There might be a handful, maybe 10, 15-ish, that you can say, maybe not even that, but that you can actually say that are good. So when we talk about it, we did
a
normally it'll be like the same 5 or 6 movies because that's like the best.
We did a top 10, I think, last year.
Yeah, and
if y'all go back and listen to that,
some of the movies on there though are still not good, like Santa's Sleigh. We just like it because it's fucking has Goldberg in it, and it's kind of so bad that it's funny.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say that it's bad good, but it's bad good.
Well, speaking of a good film, the 2007 movie The Mist, you remember that?
I do.
It's just been released on 4K Ultra high definition, Blu-ray and digital, and it's a fucking 4-disc collector's edition. So
Jesus Christ, I bet you that's about a good $50.
Yeah. I don't know how much it is. I don't look up the prices, but I just, it's I don't think it should be that much. Well, probably 30 at the most, I'm thinking. I don't know.
I'm going to say 40 at the least.
Anyway, in a new interview, Jamie Lee Curtis opens up about how she actually got involved with David Gordon Green's trilogy, Halloween, right? And oddly enough, it was through Jake Gyllenhaal.
What?
Yeah, apparently Jake
Bubble Boy?
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal, Brokeback Mountain, Bubble Boy, whatever you want to remember him as.
We're totally picking out, like...
Well, he was in a great movie called Nightcrawler about a serial killer. That was really good.
Yeah.
Or
Jarhead.
Jarhead was good.
Yeah, Jarhead was really good.
The Zodiac Killer, or was it the Zodiac? Is it there's so many Zodiac movies. It's either the Zodiac or the Zodiac Killer.
I think
he was a detective
killer.
in it.
Yeah, he was
Anyway,
awesome.
he knew, of course, he knew Jamie Lee Curtis, and he knew David Gordon Green, and David Gordon Green expressed to him how he wanted to reboot the Halloween series and everything like that. And basically, Jake Gyllenhaal got them in contact with one another, and that's pretty much, he pretty much got the green light to go ahead and reboot these because he formed a relationship with Jamie Lee Curtis, and Jamie Lee Curtis was on board, and everybody else was like, oh, she's on board? Okay, I guess it'd be good. One of those things. I just think it's interesting that, Hollywood people, they don't just go around and be like, oh, I'm Hollywood, you're Hollywood, how you doing? Like, a lot of these people don't even know each other, and they're at the same award shows, they're at the same premieres, they're at the same blah, 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 and it's just crazy that, you would think that if you're a big Hollywood star, the other big Hollywood stars, and that's not the case. Some of these people go and they make their movies, they promote them, they go to the premieres and everything else, and they're like, well, what about so-and-so? I don't know them. Fuck it. I make my money and I go home.
Right, pretty much. I mean, it's no different than...
any other job.
Yeah, any other job.
Like, I could tell you that I worked for a retail store, the biggest one in the world, named a Walmart. And, yeah, I worked there for a month. And I didn't know anybody.
You still don't know anybody.
I still don't know anybody's name. Like, that's how, like in the back, it's literally like people waiting at the bus stop. Once they get on the bus and they go, they just go. There's, some places are like that. Some places, as opposed to when I worked at Lowe's, and I knew every single body that worked there. I might have not known them. Might have not hung out with them, but I at least knew their name. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So
that's just to give you a little comparison to. I guess that's kind of how like the Hollywood actors are too. Like, hey, I know, so and so. He's a big actor, but I've never met him. Surprisingly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting to think about. How about a couple lists real quick?
Okay, I've got a new segment.
We're saving. I think we're going to save your Xmas.
Yeah.
Good stuff for last because that's kind of like the theme. We're in December. We should save that for the main event.
Yeah. The main event's going to be if Todd can guess IMDb's top 10 horror Christmas movies.
Well, Here we go. MovieWeb.com